What is up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, my name is Lex and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I have a very long overdue Middle Eastern fragrance haul, and these are focused specifically on some scents that I am excited to wear this summer. While it is super hot already here in New York, I don't know where all of you guys are, but we have already been hitting 100 degrees some days. We actually just came out of a really bad heat wave. So when it comes to the fragrances that I'm gravitating towards, I'm definitely wanting those juicy tropical vibes. And y'all know I am a huge Middle Eastern fragrance stan. So if you love Middle Eastern fragrance videos and fragrance content in general, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Double check, okay, hit that red subscribe button in the right hand corner. But all of these fragrances in today's video are actually going to be on sale right now as we speak. I will have the sale information in the description box with all of the fragrances on one page that you can shop easily and have access to. So if you don't know what Jomashop is, you have never purchased anything from Jomashop, girl, what are you doing? I have been getting so many fragrances from Jomashop for a while now. It is where you can get fragrances and so many other things at a steal of a price, okay? There is no reason why we should be out here paying full retail price unless we just want to get our points at those particular stores, okay? But Jomashop is literally where you're going to save so much money, whether it's a Middle Eastern fragrance, a designer fragrance, discontinued fragrances, niche fragrances, things that you will see in Saks and Bloomingdale's and things like that. Like, y'all need to be shopping on Jomashop, okay? So they are also based here in New York, which is where I live. So I usually get my stuff really fast. Of course, you can shop through my link. That is at no extra cost to you. It does help support my channel. So like I said, all of these will be in the description box on my landing page so you guys can shop on one place, but also just kind of like look around and see if there's anything else that you've been interested in purchasing, because I guarantee you it's probably on there for a steal. Now, this would not be a summer fragrance haul video without some mango fragrances. So I'm actually going to start with the mango fragrances. This first one is by Lattafa, which is one of my favorite brands, and this is called Leen. Love this bottle. Lattafa's Leen on Fragrantica. If you guys see me looking over, I'm looking at the notes on my iPad. So Lattafa's Leen has top notes of ginger, turmeric, pink pepper, bergamot, middle notes of mango, jasmine, tuberose, osmanthus, and black pepper, and base notes of sandalwood, musk, and incense. Now, those notes do sound promising, but I know sometimes with certain mango fragrances, when it mixes with other notes, it's not always the best smelling. So very curious and anxious to see what this is smelling like. The opening of this is very fresh, spicy. Like, I'm definitely getting ginger. I'm definitely getting that turmeric and black pepper. And then the bergamot is really just giving it more citrus, more zing. A good one for my unisex, fresh, spicy type of lovers. Like, this is very aromatic. This is compared to Stefan Ambert Luca's God of Fire, which is a fragrance I have had in the past and I have decluttered because I did find it to be a little too unisex, slightly masculine leaning for me. And I feel like this is kind of the same vibe in a way. It's just a little bit lighter, and I do start to get some of that really sweet, creamy mango and osmanthus on the dry down. So I feel like this is one of those ones I'm probably going to enjoy more in the full dry down. So I'm excited to play around with this one because this is the type of fragrance that I want lately. I don't want something super sweet, and I do want something that has a little bit of a fresh, aromatic, kind of zesty vibe. So yeah, I'm liking this one a little bit more on the dry down. It's not as sharp as it is in the opening, that mango osmanthus combo, and then the sandalwood is starting to come in a little bit too. Right now, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. It's not a love, but I do feel like I just need a little bit more time to play around with this one. Now, this next one, I actually have to show y'all like the full presentation because I just feel like Middle Eastern bottles and presentations of like their packaging and stuff is just always top tier. But this next one is by Gulf Orchid, and this is called Mango Ice. And like, y'all, look at how nice this comes when you order it. It comes in a little sleeve as well. Imagine a serene morning on a tropical beach where mango ice brings a refreshing start to your day. Bright notes of ginger, lemon, and rhubarb mixed with sweet jasmine and violet. It settles into a comforting finish of cedarwood and amber, evoking the warmth of sunlit sands. Like, doesn't that just make you want to be on vacation? Like, I'm going on vacation next month, so I'm really hoping that this is one that I like. I'm wondering if this one is also going to be compared to God of Fire as well, but I'm a little worried because this has a rhubarb note, and I'm usually not the biggest fan of rhubarbs in fragrances, so let's see. So top notes of mango, ginger, and lemon and rhubarb. Middle notes of amber, white flowers, and licorice. That sounds promising. And base notes of musk, vanilla, caramel, and chestnut. That actually sounds really, really good. So let's test this out and see what she is giving. Number one compared to fragrance for this is, again, Stefan Humbert Luca's God of Fire. If you guys know any like really, really good niche or designer mango fragrances that are not God of Fire, definitely let me know in the comments below, because I'm in the market for just some new mango perfumes. I love a mango and a pineapple note in perfumery, but I feel like when it comes to mango fragrances, the main one people always talk about is that one. This is also very, very nice. I feel like this smells very similar to Leen, but on this one, I'm definitely getting a lot sweeter mango, and it's very refreshing. It almost smells like there's like a watery note in here, which I guess that's why they call it mango ice, because this is very much giving me kind of a zesty ginger mixed with like a mango popsicle or something. Also still giving me kind of that unisex, really, really fresh vibe. I feel like when it comes to ginger and mango together in like a fragrance, that's almost gonna always lean pretty unisex in my opinion. So yeah, if you like Stefan Humbert Luca's God of Fire, I don't feel like this is a 100% spot on dupe. I feel like this is a little bit sweeter, but it is still going to kind of be in that unisex, slightly masculine leaning territory, which lately I have been craving these types of scents. It's definitely one for my girlies who love something very unique and different. Excited to play around with this one this summer and kind of see how she does in the heat. I'm really hoping I start to get more of the vanilla, the caramel, and the chestnut, like when it fully dries down. But right now, I'm really just, again, getting that really refreshing, zingy kind of mango ginger concoction. And I'm not mad at this. I really like this one. I feel like I like this one just a hair more than I like Leen. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Now, this next one is going to be my last, I think this is my last mango scent in this haul. More for my super, super sweet, like super gourmand mango lovers, and this one is called Tropical Kiss. This one is by French Avenue. This one has top notes of chamomile, mango, and orange blossom, middle notes of coconut, ylang ylang, and orris, and base notes of vanilla, amber, and benzoin. So let's see. I feel like I really, really liked this one when I first tried it. Yes, y'all, this smells really, really good. Like, this is giving me a very creamy, sweet, ripe mango with a little bit of green mango skin. I think it's honestly the chamomile that's coming through. The ylang ylang is giving it this bright, like happy yellow floral coming through and makes it feel very tropical. And then the coconut and the orris is also giving it that creamy factor. It's definitely sweet, but there's still some fresh herbaceous type of vibes, if that makes sense. So it's not just straight up basic mango body spray or something like that. A little bit of a hint of something that says, hey, this is still a perfume. I really, really like this one as well. I think out of the 3 mango fragrances, this is probably my favorite so far. It has more sweetness and more of that tropical vibe that I have been craving. And I would also say that this particular one is the most feminine leaning out of all 3 of these mango fragrances. So excited to keep playing around with this one as well. Now, this next one I was very excited about because one of the other fragrances in this line is like one of my favorite Middle Eastern fragrances, which is Club de Nuit Imperial. And when I saw they released a new one, I was like, oh my God, like I wonder what this one is going to be inspired by. So this is Club de Nuit Maleka. First of all, love that name. Love the color of this bottle. Like, you just don't see purple perfume bottles like that. You know what I mean? But anyways, this one is super, super gorgeous. Gold writing on there, y'all. Like, this is just freaking gorgeous. But this one is, I can't tell you off the top of my head what it's supposed to be inspired by, but this one has top notes of lychee, bergamot, and pink pepper, middle notes of orris, and base notes of praline, ambroxan, and sandalwood. So on Fragrantica, I'm seeing people comparing this to Parfums de Marly Meliora. I'm also seeing people compare this to Delina, as well as the new Kayali Fleur Majesty Rose, which I will be reviewing in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that, okay? But I can't say that it's like a spot-on dupe for anything right off the top of my head. I feel like this is kind of a mixture of Parfums de Marly Meliora mixed with a dash of Delina. It's giving me that same kind of sweet, powdery pear. Like, there isn't pear listed in here, but it smells like there's some type of pear in here. And I feel like maybe it's how the orris and the lychee are combining. This is a really easy wear. I think this is a great, like super agreeable, feminine, easy reach, especially for summer. It does remind me a bit of the new Kayali, but not as sweet and powdery as that one. Like I think the sandalwood and the ambroxan in here, as well as the pink pepper, is giving it just a little bit of a kick, so it's not so generic and basic smelling. I will say this one is not like super beast mode, and when I wore it, it was not the longest lasting. But you guys know a lot of times with Middle Eastern fragrances, especially like newer releases, you do have to kind of let them sit for a bit so they can start to get stronger, as well as let the scent kind of fully develop. So I'm excited to revisit this in a few weeks. Right now, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. Because it's not anything mind-blowing, not as memorable. Like I have to remind myself what this smells like type of scent. We will revisit her. Like I said, love the bottle, love the packaging, and hopefully I start to enjoy the juice a little bit more once I get some wear out of her. Okay, now this next one, y'all, another one is a gorgeous, gorgeous bottle, but this is Maison Alhambra's Celeste. And I could tell just from the bottle alone that this was inspired by the new Jean Paul Gaultier, or the newest, I want to say it's the newest one, the Divine, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, but literally like the bottle looks almost like that one in a shorter version. This one has top notes of bergamot and lemon, middle notes of jasmine, lily of the valley, and rose, and base notes of ylang ylang, sandalwood, musk, and moss. And anytime I see ylang ylang, I just almost always assume that the fragrance is going to smell really tropical and really fun, because that's just how ylang ylang comes across to my nose. This is good, y'all. Let me see what this is compared to on Fragrantica. Because, okay, perfect. And you know why I love this? This reminds me so much of one of my favorite go-to summer fragrances, which is Mugler's Alien Goddess. So I would even go as far as to say, I have not smelled that new Jean Paul Gaultier, but I have heard that it is compared to Mugler's Alien Goddess, which is probably why I never bought it. But this reminds me heavily of Mugler's Alien Goddess. So I would almost say maybe it's like kind of a cross between the two, because this also resembles the Alien Goddess bottle. So, oh, it just smells so good. If you have never smelled Mugler's Alien Goddess, it just feels very bright, very uplifting. It just feels like a summer vacation. You have like a flowy sundress on, you're walking down the beach, the sun is shining, you have like a tropical drink in your hand. Like that is the vibe that this gives me. The bergamot and the lemon, of course, is I think what's giving it that very bright kind of youthful feel, but the ylang ylang for sure I'm getting the most is definitely that bergamot, that lemon, the ylang ylang, and a little bit of that sandalwood. That's kind of giving it some body and depth. But y'all, this smells so good. Oh, this smells so good. This is definitely a standout for me from this video. If you love scents like Mugler's Alien Goddess, or just those tropical, happy, sunny feeling perfumes, check out Celeste. Moving down the line here. So this next one is from a brand that I don't know if it's a newer Middle Eastern fragrance brand, or I just have never purchased anything from them before, but this is Nexa Muse by Rue Broca. And another gorgeous bottle, but this one has top notes of tangerine, bergamot, and pear, middle notes of tuberose, orange blossom, and jasmine sambac, and base notes of vanilla, musk, oak moss, and vetiver. And I was really excited to pick this one up, y'all, because I saw that this one is supposed to be inspired by Prada Paradox. I did empty the bottle that I had, and I just have not got around to repurchasing it because I have so many fragrances at this point, y'all. But anyway, let's smell her so I can give you guys my thoughts, because I'm very familiar with that fragrance. I'm definitely getting a very, very nice blend of that tangerine and that pear. It's like perfectly balanced. Like I'm not smelling one more than the other. I'm really just getting kind of a sugary, almost like a mandarin type of smell. It just is that really sweet citrus. And then the pear is giving it that sweet, powdery, fruity feel. And then I start to get the tuberose and the orange blossom. So those white florals are coming in and just giving it that very feminine, like pretty girl feel. Do I feel like this is a 100% dupe for Prada Paradox right now? I don't, but I'm kind of feeling like this is gonna get there, because from what I'm smelling right now, it's really that it feels a little bit lighter. If you felt like Prada Paradox was like too sharp or give you a headache, because that was something that I experienced with that fragrance at times, because I personally thought it was very, very strong. This one is like a more subdued Prada Paradox, and I feel like it's also just a little bit fruitier. Like it's not as heavy on the florals that are in Prada Paradox. I really like this one. I think this is another one that's going to be an easy grab and go. We're gonna have to revisit this one as well and see how we feel about her in a few weeks, but I do really like this. I don't know if I rated Celeste. I'm going to give Celeste an 8 out of 10, and this one I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. I think this is a great easy reach. This next one right here is one that I already am loving, and this is another one from French Avenue. And can we just get into the packaging? Like I love when the packaging of fragrances actually matches the actual bottle, and when you open it up, boom, here is the fragrance. So this is Veneno Bianco, and this one is supposed to be inspired by the new Kilian fragrance Sun Kiss Goddess, which is upwards of $300, and I am not spending that kind of money on one fragrance at the moment. So yeah, I was very excited to see this because I have smelled that fragrance in store and I found it to be very nice and was very curious about this one. So this one has top notes of bergamot, neroli, and milk, which I was a little nervous about, not gonna lie, because when you think about milk mixed with anything citrus, like that can go sour really quick. But has middle notes of ylang ylang, tiare flower, and white flowers, and then base notes of coconut, gaiac wood, vanilla, and labdanum. And y'all, I love this. This smells so good. I was worried about that milk and the neroli and everything being too like sour smelling, but I feel like for me, the milk is more of like a almost like a powdered milk type of situation. Like it just gives the fragrance this kind of delicate, creamy, powdery feel. And then of course, mixing with the coconuts and the flowers, it's almost like a soft, baby, powdery bouquet of tropical flowers. Like I know that sounds crazy. Hopefully you guys can kind of picture it, but it also does smell very similar to that Kilian fragrance. So if you love your very tropical white floral fragrances, this smells gorgeous. It almost has a little bit of a soapiness to it, which I'm feeling like is probably that tiare flower, but it's warm, it's uplifting, it's bright. Again, it has a little bit of a soapy white floral vibe as well. And the milk is really just giving it that creamy powdery factor, I feel. And yeah, I'm curious to see how I'm going to feel about this long-term wear-wise, because while this isn't anything beast mode, I do feel like this scent profile, if you know, can kind of be prone to like headaches and things like that, I do feel like this may be a bit headache inducing for some, which I am prone to headaches from certain types of fragrances. So I'm excited to just wear this one for an extended period of time and see how I feel about her. But I think this is a gorgeous, feminine, summery fragrance that smells really nice. And like I said, if you like your Tom Ford Soleil Blancs and things like that, this is definitely one you should check out because it is in that same family. So yeah, I'm gonna give this an 8 to 9 out of 10 because again, I really do need to see how it's going to wear long term on skin and see if that milk note goes sour. But from what I'm smelling right now, I really love this one. This next one, this is another one from the house of Club de Nuit, and I really did not need this because the fragrance that this is inspired by, I have emptied already. I also have another fragrance that is inspired by that same fragrance that I love and have raved about on my channel, which is Lattafa's Angam. And this is of course inspired by none other than Burberry Goddess. So I feel like Burberry Goddess is just the perfect summer vanilla fragrance. It's not too heavy and it's easy to wear. So I was like, you know what? Let's try another one. Let's see how this compares to my beloved Angam, but this one is called LionHeart. So you guys are gonna notice at this point, I've saved all of my favorite ones for the end of this video, but this one has top notes of vanilla and lavender, middle notes of ginger and cacao, and base notes of vanilla absolute, which is basically the exact same notes as Burberry Goddess. And y'all, this is literally Burberry Goddess to a T, almost with a little bit more of a creamy cacao in there. So I feel like the cacao is much more pronounced in here. Well, I won't say much more, but like I pick up more cacao in here. But other than that, y'all, this is literally spot on. Ooh, this smells so freaking amazing. Like this smells so good. So if you are not familiar with Burberry Goddess, which I feel like most of the girlies are, if you are here, you already know that's one of my signature scents. I know and love her down. It is a very gorgeous, aromatic lavender vanilla. And for someone like me who is not always the biggest fan of lavender scents, that is one of the most beautiful lavender scents that I have ever smelled. Very closely compared to scents like Mon Guerlain, kind of compared to scents like YSL's Libre, but I feel like to me, Burberry Goddess definitely stands alone in the way that the lavender, the ginger, and the vanilla almost come across as like a candied ginger situation. And I always say they remind me of these little ginger candies that I ate, that I grew up eating. So it just smells so good, y'all. Now, I cannot speak to longevity and performance of this one. This is not beast mode, but I also feel like Burberry Goddess is not beast mode either. So I feel like in terms of projection, they're about the same. But again, y'all know Middle Eastern fragrances just continue to get better with time. And since this is a fairly new release, I can only imagine that this is going to get better, because my other Club de Nuit fragrances that I've tried have gotten 10 times stronger since I got them. So very excited to see how this wears. For my Burberry Goddess lovers, if you are wanting something much more affordable and you have not been able to get your hands on Engam for some reason, this is another amazing option. And I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10 as well. All right, y'all. Now, this next one is another one that was viral on TikTok for quite a bit. And I've been sitting on it until I could do this video. But this is Lattafa Atheeri. And again, y'all, these bottles are just absolutely insane. This one has top notes of passion flower, dewdrop, middle notes of orchid and jasmine, and base notes of vanilla and amberwood. And this one is said to be inspired by Lattafa's Engam is at the top. Okay, so something else that's being compared to Engam and Burberry Goddess, which is interesting. But the number one fragrance that this is compared to is Gucci Flora Gorgeous Orchid, I believe, the yellow one, which I have not actually picked up. I have tested it a couple of times in store, and I did like what I smelled. I just never got around to picking it up, honestly. So let's spray her and see what this is giving. I feel like when I sprayed this, I really did like it. Let's see, girl. My living room is about to smell so insane. Oh, yes, yes. This is gorge, y'all. This is gorgeous. So while I don't have the Gucci perfume in my possession to compare the side-by-side to, this is definitely very similar to what I remember. And it does have that same aromatic feel as your Burberry Goddess Lattafa Engam, but I feel like this is definitely a heavier dose of vanilla. And then there's something very, very fruity in the top, which is that passion flower. A ton of just this very robust, like round fruit in the opening. It almost has like a juiciness to it. And then the orchid comes in, the vanilla, and this just smells really good. Now, does this smell super unique? Definitely not. But if you're wanting an easy, pretty girl, easy reach for summertime, like, I think this is amazing. Honestly, this would do very, very well in the fall as well. And if you like Lattafa Engam or Burberry Goddess, I definitely think this is one you should check out. Imagine that fragrance with something kind of more tropical fruit vibes. And yeah, this smells really, really nice. Again, I can't speak to longevity and performance quite yet with this one, but from what I am smelling on my first impressions, I do really, really like this one. And I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Okay, y'all. Now we are down to the final two of this video, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys, I have already worn both of these. I absolutely love both of them. And these are my two 10 out of 10 fragrances from this video. And you could, I guess, kind of argue that this one in particular is not necessarily the most summery fragrance, but at this point, girl, I'm going to wear a vanilla year round. And when I do wear vanillas in hotter weather, I try to go for the more aromatic type of vanilla. So this is going to be Zimaya's Ramsh Diva. And y'all, this is inspired by none other than the cult classic fave, Kayali Vanilla 28. And girl, I just have to say, I'm going to spray some on because like I told y'all, I've already worn this, but let's get into the bottle. Of course, gorgeous packaging. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, so let's go through the notes. So this has top notes of vanilla, jasmine, and fruity notes, middle notes of sugar, vanilla, and tonka bean, and base notes of amber, patchouli, and musk. Y'all, this is like 90% Kayali Vanilla 28, but I feel like the fruits in here are maybe a hair more pronounced. I'm definitely getting more fruit in the top notes of this. And there's also something almost a little saltier in this one in the opening, but I feel like the dry down of this is almost 100% spot on vanilla 28. Also, I feel like I get maybe a hint more patchouli in this one as well, but I wore both of them side by side one day, and I feel like longevity wise, they were both about the same. I honestly think this one may have lasted a bit longer than vanilla 28. And scent wise, I would say it's about 90% close. The fact that this has something a little fruitier in it makes it more wearable to me in the hotter weather as opposed to vanilla 28 that I don't really reach for as much. But they are both very, very similar. And if you are a fan of that scent DNA and you want something that is a quarter of the price for the exact same amount of juice, girl. Check this one out. It smells so, so good. And I can easily see myself finishing a bottle of this before the year is over. Now, finally, this last one, I honestly was not expecting this to be a dupe of the fragrance that it is duping, just from the other fragrances in this particular line. But this last one, which is definitely my last 10 out of 10 fragrance for this video, is Afnan's Delicious Bouquet. And I mean, literally the caramel on the packaging, I don't know. I was not expecting it. This is inspired by Dolce & Gabbana's Devotion, which, do we need another Devotion dupe? We don't. But at the same time, yes, we do, because that's one of my favorite fragrances. It's one of my signature scents. And anytime I can get my hands on that scent DNA, I'm going to run for it. Like, I'm sorry. So this is what the bottle looks like. And I have a couple of the other Afnan fragrances in my collection, but I feel like this is the first like true gourmand one that they have done. But girl, let's talk about it. So this one has top notes of lemon, vanilla, bergamot, and white flowers, middle notes of rum, orange blossom sugar, whipped cream, and honey, and base notes of caramel, vanilla, musk, and tonka. Now, I feel like this has pretty similar notes to, I feel like the notes of this one are basically almost kind of combining a little bit of Devotion Intense as well as the OG. But y'all, basically, this is Devotion with the caramel amped all the way up, not as sharp on the citrus. I feel like this fragrance basically takes the minor tweaks in Devotion that I wanted to make myself and improves upon it. So for me, this definitely has a true candy lemon scent. And I feel like for a lot of people, they did not like the opening of Devotion or Devotion in general because it had almost kind of that astringent, almost cleaner like lemon. This does not have that. This to me smells immediately like a lemon head. Like it smells like a lemon candy. Oh my God, y'all, this smells so good. Like, wow. And then when it fully dries down, of course, you're getting the vanilla, you're getting the rum, the panna cotta, but I definitely get a heavier dose of caramel in here, and it just smells so freaking good. Like, girl, if you are a Devotion fan, you love the scent DNA, you want another fragrance, or if you want Devotion that is amped up on the sweeter aspects of it and not as much of the lemon, this is a 10 out of 10. Oh my gosh, y'all. This one even lasted all freaking day. So I cannot wait to continue playing around with this one. This is going to be an amazing summer gourmand, but also one for fall as well. It's just going to do so well, y'all. Like I am thoroughly impressed with this one. And yeah, I may even like this a bit more than Lattafa's Victoria, because I do feel like that one's more light, fluffy, and girly. This one is basically like caramel. You know what I mean? So I love this one so much, and this is probably hands down my favorite from this video. So with that being said, let me go ahead and rank these for you guys and give you guys my final thoughts and wrap this thing up. Now, while I will say there weren't any in this video or in this haul that I particularly disliked, I do have some right now that I feel like I'm going to have to spend a little more time with getting to know. So at the bottom right now are going to be these two mango fragrances, Leen by Lattafa, and this one is Mango Ice. I do feel like I like Mango Ice just a little bit better, but both have that kind of aromatic, fresh, spicy mango mixture going on, and they can definitely lean unisex more in the masculine territory, but I do still like them. I find them very unique and interesting, and they're just going to be some that I'm going to have to play around with some layering combos for. The next two are both the purplish bottles. Both of these smell really nice. They're both just very girly, easy, feminine reaches, but I do wish they were just a little bit more pronounced and memorable. So I'm, again, going to have to play around with these a bit more and hope they deepen and richen the longer that I have them. If you're looking for just an easy, feminine, pretty floral fragrance with a hint of fruit, they both kind of give me that same vibe. Also followed up by the Tropical Kiss. I do like this one, but I feel like, again, I'm kind of getting that aromatic, fresh spiciness that I was getting from the other two mango fragrances, but this one is definitely a lot sweeter. So I'm going to keep playing around with this one too. This is more of an elevated mango fragrance. It's not like super basic or anything like that. Depending on your relationship with mango scents, you will either love it or hate it. But I think this is a good one if you love your sweeter mango fragrances. Okay, y'all, it's getting hard at this point because I feel like everything else I just absolutely love. But these two are next up on the list. I would say these are the most tropical floral smelling out of all of these. They give you that warm, just sunny feeling of wanting to be on vacation, being dressed up, going out, going to the beach, something like that. Like, that is the vibe of both of these, and they both smell absolutely incredible. So these, honestly, I feel like I could give these a 10 out of 10, but I just want to wear them a little bit more, play around with them, and see if they end up being like headache inducing or anything like that. But yeah, overall, these are amazing, amazing, amazing options if you love your tropical floral smelling fragrances. And then, of course, the next two are also two that give me very similar vibes, but we have LionHeart Woman and Lattafa Atheeri. These are both going to give you that aromatic vanilla feel. If you love your Burberry Goddess types of scents, this is definitely for you, and these are a lot sweeter. Like I said, this one is basically that type of scent profile with something a little bit more fruity added, so I feel like this is great for spring and summer. And this one is pretty much another spot on dupe for Burberry Goddess, with almost more of a pronounced cacao note, and I really, really appreciate that, and I love both of these. Then my top two picks from this video, you guys, if I could only choose two from this video, even though these aren't necessarily the most summery smelling, I already know I'm going to be wearing both of these a ton, and I actually need to layer these two together. But we have Delicious Bouquet by Afnan and Zimaya's Ramsh Diva. I feel like we just don't see a ton of Kayali inspired fragrance dupes out there. Well, we're starting to see more of them now, but like, I feel like it took people forever to dupe Vanilla 28, which I don't understand because it's like one of the most viral Kayali fragrances. Love this one. This is amazing. Like I said, I feel like it's about a 90% match to Kayali's Vanilla 28 if you love your spicier vanillas. And of course, my beloved Devotion, which is one of my signature scents. This is about a 90% match with basically improving on the small, minute things about Devotion that I wish were better. So yeah, if you want an affordable option to Devotion, girl, that smells even sweeter, not as sharp on the lemon and more caramel, this is definitely your girl. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I will have the link to all of these fragrances in the description box, as well as on the YouTube shopping pictures that were probably popping up as I was talking about these things. But I do have a ton more Middle Eastern fragrances that I need to review for you guys, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.